Everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into House Builder 2, the latest construction simulation from FreeMind SA and Playway. This sequel promises more freedom, more immersion, and an open world where you can really feel like a builder shaping your own little corner of the world. I've spent hours exploring, building, and just wandering around this vibrant world, and I'm excited to share the full experience with you, what works, what could be improved, and whether it's worth picking up in its early access state. Right off the bat, the open world map is surprisingly alive. You're not just dropped into a blank canvas. NPCs wander the towns and villages. I spent the first hour just watching them go about their routines. Villagers walking dogs, kids running past, shopkeepers sweeping in front of their stores. Even though they don't interact with you yet, their presence gives the world life. You feel like your builds exist in a neighborhood that's alive, not just an empty sandbox. The landscapes themselves are beautiful in a low-poly, stylized way. Rolling hills, dense forests, winding rivers, and small settlements. It's the kind of world you want to drive around in slowly, scouting locations. Personally, I found myself stopping multiple times just to watch the sunset over a half-finished cabin. The combination of vibrant colors, lighting, and ambient sounds makes the game feel surprisingly cozy. Once you settle on a plot, you begin the heart of the game, building, and this is where House Builder 2 really shines. The construction is hands-on and tactile. You pick up materials, load them onto trucks, carry them to your site, and assemble every part of your structure. There's something satisfying about placing a beam just right, hammering walls into place, or watching a roof panel align perfectly after several attempts. Let me give you an example. I decided to build a 2-story wooden cabin on a lakeside plot. I wanted big windows facing the water, a wraparound porch, and a small rooftop deck. Transporting all the wood planks and bricks to the site was tedious at first, but once I started assembling, the rhythm became almost meditative. By the time the walls were up and the roof went on, I genuinely felt proud, like I had created something from nothing. The game offers a wide range of building materials: wood, concrete, brick, and glass, each with subtle differences in texture and handling. Mixing them lets you experiment creatively. A brick lower floor with wooden upper panels, glass accents, or colorful roofing. You can also personalize interiors with furniture, rugs, and lighting. I spent a solid hour arranging a living room with a fireplace, bookshelves, and a cozy reading nook. Watching the light from the windows hit the furniture just right made me smile. It's a small detail, but it really draws you in. NPCs wandering the world add another layer of immersion. I had one moment where a family walked past the porch of my cabin while I was painting. They didn't react, but their presence made it feel like I wasn't alone, like my creation existed in a shared world. Later, while building a small brick shop in a village, I noticed a couple of NPCs pause and seemingly inspect the construction site before moving on. Moments like these, even if subtle, make the open world feel alive and give a sense of context to your builds. The day-night cycle enhances this effect. Starting a build in the morning, watching shadows stretch as the sun sets, and seeing lanterns flicker on in the village streets adds a layer of realism and charm. There's something incredibly satisfying about finishing a project as night falls, hearing the distant murmur of NPCs winding down their day. Now, the gameplay loop. Gather materials, load trucks, drive to the site, and assemble your structure. This rhythm might sound repetitive, but it's oddly relaxing. One thing I found enjoyable was problem-solving small challenges. A truck full of bricks gets stuck on uneven terrain, a beam refuses to align, or you misplace a window and have to dismantle a wall. These little frustrations turn into tiny victories when you solve them, like successfully placing that final roof panel without it wobbling or collapsing. And yes, mistakes happen. I once placed a wall backwards on a small 2-story cottage. It wasn't disastrous, but I had to carefully dismantle it, carry the materials back, and rebuild. Moments like that add a little humor and realism to the building process. You feel like a real builder learning on the job, and it's oddly satisfying. Exploration is also rewarding. The open world map has hidden areas, quiet lakesides, dense forest clearings, and abandoned plots perfect for ambitious builds. Driving around in the trucks, I discovered a hilltop plot with a panoramic view over a village and a river. I immediately knew it would make a great modern-style home. You can find inspiration just by wandering, and the game encourages you to take your time rather than rush from project to project. Performance is generally solid, though large builds in populated towns can occasionally slow things down. Physics mostly work as expected, but sometimes trucks feel a little floaty or materials clip unexpectedly. These aren't game-breaking issues, but they're noticeable. Let's talk visuals. The low-poly art style is consistent, readable, and charming. The world feels alive thanks to lighting, day-night cycles, and the NPCs I mentioned earlier. Watching the sun glint off glass windows, lanterns light a cobblestone street at night, or a distant river reflect the sky makes wandering the world feel relaxing and immersive. Sound design also deserves praise. Hammering, sawing, truck engines, footsteps, wind through trees. It all combines to create an ambient, almost meditative soundtrack. The in-game music is subtle and calming, letting you focus on your builds without distraction. Comparing House Builder 2 to other simulation games, it sits comfortably between House Flipper and Construction Simulator. Unlike House Flipper, you build from scratch rather than renovate. Unlike Construction Simulator, it isn't about heavy machinery and hyper-realistic physics. And unlike many sandbox games, NPCs wandering around make the world feel alive instead of empty. The balance between relaxing, methodical building, and open-world freedom makes it stand out. Community reception reflects this. Steam reviews are mixed, roughly 54% positive, which is typical for early access. People love the freedom, creative possibilities, and relaxing vibe. Complaints mainly focus on repetition, incomplete features, and occasional performance quirks. But that's exactly what you'd expect from a game still in development. Let's break down pros and cons. Pros: open-world sandbox with freedom to build anywhere. Hands-on, tactile construction mechanics. NPCs wandering the world. Add immersion. Charming low-poly art style. Relaxing sound design and day-night cycle. A real sense of personal achievement and creativity. Cons: some repetition after extended sessions. NPCs aren't fully interactive yet. Occasional bugs and physics quirks. Large builds can impact performance. Progression and deeper gameplay goals are limited currently. Overall, House Builder 2 is a game with strong foundations. Watching your builds take shape, wandering a world where NPCs move and live independently, and decorating interiors makes the experience immersive and satisfying. The combination of open-world freedom, hands-on construction, and subtle world life creates a sandbox that's relaxing, fun, and full of creative potential. I'd give it a 7 out of 10 in its current early access state, with a lot of room to grow. Once co-op, more interactive NPCs, and additional building mechanics roll out, this could easily become a top-tier creative sandbox. If you're into methodical building, open-world exploration, and subtle, immersive simulations, this is a title worth exploring. Share your experiences in the comments. What have you built, and how did the NPCs make the world feel alive for you? And as always, if you enjoyed this review, hit that like button, subscribe for more honest deep dives into indie and simulation games, and stick around. There's plenty more building ahead. Until next time, keep creating, keep exploring, and remember, even the grandest structures start with a single brick.